So why would WWE do this? That's what we're going to be diving into. Obviously, WWE making a very weird decision tonight, making the match between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre official tonight, making that title match happen on a random episode of Friday Night SmackDown, which obviously was the show after Crown Jewel. Cody obviously facing Seth Rollins and losing to him at Crown Jewel. The week after, he is facing Drew McIntyre for the title. So very interesting how we just had him have back-to-back technically defenses. Technically, he's had two back-to-back week defenses. Very interesting though. Obviously, creative was left scrambling. We saw news break out that Jacob Fatu is injured with a non-wrestling injury. And leading up to tonight, we all thought that the match was still on, with Nick Aldis saying the match is still on, as well as Drew McIntyre saying this match is still on and it's happening. Everybody thinking it's going to happen, and turns out Drew McIntyre, which is the main culprit right now. There could be somebody else that pops up whenever Jacob comes back, but it's obviously Drew McIntyre right now. He's the main culprit. He's the one that obviously did it. Jacob Fatu gets attacked before his main event match as a number one contender to see if he's going to become the number one contender for Cody's title. And he'd be attacked, blood coming out the mouth. He was foam, everything, right? So obviously he's ruled out. So now we have nobody to face Drew. And Nick Aldis comes out there and he starts screaming at Drew, saying, "We know you were the culprit. We know you did it." And then Cody, he comes out and he's not sticking up for that at all. Cody's like, "No, I think that this should still happen. We said it was going to happen. Let's make it happen." So Cody said that he wasn't letting these people leave without a show, right? That's basically what he was doing. He was like, "I don't know. I think I have too much built up hatred against Drew to let him not earn this, right?" Because basically he's saying it ain't Drew's fault Jacob's injured, Like, obviously, I think Drew did it. But I'm not going to dive too much into that because Jacob's injured. He's going to be out. And it's just going to be really confusing because if you don't think about any of the news during the show, you're going to realize Jacob Fatu is not going to be on the show. And that's going to be weird to see, seeing how he just returned. And now we're not going to be able to see Jacob Fatu on a show until months down the road. News breaking out as well. He was supposed to be a big part of War Games, being on the babyface team against the Vision. Brock, Austin Theory was potentially in those names as well. So big things that he's missing out on, and that he's going to miss out on in the next few weeks, months. So that's definitely going to suck. I think that obviously Jacob Fatu was meant to win tonight. I think that no Drew McIntyre cannot lose twice, but I think that Jacob Fatu deserved the win. It was in his pretty much hometown, so I think that he would have won tonight. So it's very devastating to hear how he got injured right before potentially one of the biggest matches of his career, heading into one of the, or if not the biggest match of his career, in versus Cody. So it's sad to see for sure. But one main reason why I wanted to get on here and talk about it and not break down the whole entire show, because yes, it was the biggest part. So you gotta at some point give some consideration and some time to lay off the pressure on WWE, because obviously creative team not expecting Jacob Fatu to get hurt, so they're planning on him winning tonight and him going on to face Cody, whether that's Survivor Series, whether that's next week, whatever. So creative having to scramble and instantly make up an idea that's super random. First thing I saw whenever Jacob got injured or whenever he got attacked backstage was, do we see somebody like a Damian Priest, Randy Orton, those type of names come out and face him? I think my biggest concern was Randy Orton, right? I think that I could have definitely saw Randy Orton come out and face Drew McIntyre in a number one contenders match, him somehow win over Nick Aldis to have that match. But that obviously would not sit well with Jacob Fatu whenever he does come back. But I think that this, right now, whenever Jacob comes back, he's not going to be concerned about who filled his spot or what happened whenever he was attacked. I think he's going after the title whenever he comes back. I think he's going to return the same way he returned this time whenever he comes back from injury. And I'm actually really, really excited to see what the injury is, because that would tell us how long he's potentially going to be out for. So whether it's a minor injury or not, he was obviously backstage tonight. He had another rundown with Cody Rhodes, which I thought was very weird. Given the fact that WWE should not have done this, is something that I'm 100% thinking they should not have done. Jacob Fatu's obviously injured. He cannot face Cody Rhodes. So for the second week in a row now, we're having Jacob Fatu confront Cody Rhodes and saying that Cody needs to be ready whenever he comes and faces him and wins the number one contendership spot. So yes, it was kind of a build up to the main event, but if you know he's injured, if you know what's going to happen, I would recommend not doing that, because yes, Jacob's going to go after that title when he comes back, but some of the fans aren't going to remember that, and there's going to be new fans who's going to be super confused on why this guy's bringing up something that happened months ago. So yeah, pretty much my main narrative in this video is to tell you guys that we're over here watching SmackDown, kind of not understanding what's going on, to leave some pressure off WWE creative, because they were left completely shell-shocked too. They had the same reaction as us, and imagine how stressful that would be. Booking is already hard enough, and having the pressure of somebody getting injured in your top spot right now is going to be super hard to figure out. So they instantly had to cope to Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre, and this was not a match that I would have recommended to anybody. Don't go back and rewatch the match if you're not fully prepared to not take it as wondering if it's going to be a good match. You need to come into it thinking that it's creative with scrambling. This is what they came up with. Is it good for a scramble? That's all you need to know. Obviously, I will go back and rewatch it and pick out the little stuff I can. But that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to pick out the little things, and that's what I will go back and do. As much as I hate doing it, you have to pick out the little things that you don't like, because that overall makes you somebody that knows more. So I fully want you to go back, rewatch Cody versus Drew tonight, and leave it in the comments below what you thought about the match, or leave it in my Instagram comments, wherever. Let me know what you thought about the Drew and Cody match, and let me know how you thought and how you think that WWE Creative handled this situation, and if you agree with it, if you think was the right decision. Because personally, I think that yes, WWE could have done a better job at putting somebody like a Randy Orton, like I was saying, in the spot of Cody Rhodes, instead of throwing Cody into 2 back-to-back huge matches for his career. Because 100% Drew could have won tonight. But one thing that this is telling me was this match between Cody and Drew tonight was more of a war and more of a setup to Cody versus Drew. So if anything, I think it gave Cody and Drew more momentum leading into their match. And I think that this was obviously not good because Jacob's injured, but giving us momentum into Drew being more of a dominant force, attacking somebody, clearing him out the way so he can have full eyes on Cody. They can really run with that storyline, and I think that they will over the next couple of weeks into War Games and stuff like that, where Cody can defend that title against Drew on a higher stage. But tonight was obviously very unfortunate. The past 2 days have been trial and error. News breaking out every second these past 2 days. Really this whole week, with WWE filing 90-day laws and stuff to Andrade, to, Jacob Fatu getting injured. Big plans for Jacob that was supposed to be happening. So one thing I will say, keep your eye out on news, because anything can happen, and this is the full definition of it. We saw Nick Aldis, which it's really confusing to see how WWE went with this angle of it, because normally in this angle you do this for somebody who isn't injured, because that would mean they have to get their get back next week to whoever did it. Nick Aldis was obviously questioning Jacob. Who did it? Jacob wasn't even answering. So, oh snap. But it's definitely going to be confusing to see how Jacob reacts to this whenever he comes back. Obviously, him not having Instagram or anything like that, so it's going to be hard to see his reactions, of course. But whenever he does come back from injury, I'm super excited to see what he can do, how he reacts, if he's going to go back and win that title, and if he keeps going after Cody. I think that would be the best answer, to go after Cody. But once again, I think it's going to be really cool to see. Hope y'all enjoyed this video as well. I know this was a little ramble, something that's not worth watching if I'm personally being honest, but it's what the channel's about, rambling about wrestling. So let me know down below what you thought, and see y'all boys in the next one.